Let's hoop it up! We'll be slamming, we'll be jamming, hoop it up all weekend long. Yeah, the balls are driving, all high-fiving, gonna rock till the cows come home. Don't you knock on my door, don't you ring my phone, 'cause I won't be disturbed while the ball game is on. Let's get on.
Welcome, everyone, to Veterans Memorial Coliseum in Phoenix, Arizona. For the 7-Up shootout today, it is showtime in the desert, folks. Number 5, Cincinnati, against the Arizona Wildcats. Good afternoon, everybody. I'm Mark Jones in the house, along with Terry Gannon, and welcome to this interesting matchup of two teams with interesting styles on the Payne-Weber pregame report. Now, Terry, you talk about Cincinnati, ranked number 5 in the country. They like to turn up the defensive pressure meter on you. Really,
I think. Yeah, you're exactly right. I mean, they always have. Bob Huggins has always done that, but this year they're so physical as well inside. And on the other side of the coin, Arizona is a team that's really hung on. They lost Joseph Blair, an inside player, 7 games ago, but they played so well on the perimeter. Reggie Geary, a guy at the point guard spot who's adapted well to that spot and has played very well for them.
Now, one of the developing stories for the Arizona Wildcats is number 44, Reggie Geary. A shoulder injury yesterday in practice. How much concern is that to Arizona?
They iced it down and they say it's not a big deal. He's got to go, though. He has got to go most of the game for them because he leads the show on the offensive side, but he also is their top defensive stopper. Everybody knows that about Reggie Geary. Cincinnati, a team that just comes after you in waves.
All right, an interesting matchup of styles coming up right now. We're going to toss it back to our man in the studio, John Saunders.
All right, Mark and Terry, thanks a lot, along with Gene Cady, the head coach at Purdue, as Lute Olson goes for number 500 in coaching victories. And I know you've coached against Lute Olson, a powerhouse in this game.
They always play very hard. They're going to play great defense at the half court, and they're going to have a great high-low post. And then, you know, when you go against Cincinnati, you know they're going to pressure you for 40 minutes. And Bob Huggins is one of the most competitive guys I know. So it ought to be a great game, but you never know nowadays because of the three-point shot, like in the Massachusetts game.
When you play Cincinnati, you might come away with a few bruises as well.
That's right. They get after you. They really trap you, and for 40 minutes, you better be ready to play.
All right, let's take a look at some scores before we get you out to the opening tip. Maine against Towson State, and 65-56 is the final. Towson State gets the win as Ralph Blaylock finished with 16 points. NC State against Arizona State. Some of you saw this earlier here today on ABC. Ron Riley could become their all-time leading scorer today, and here he shows with a great move to the goal as Arizona State up 21-15. A little defensive here as Todd Fuller knocks down this shot, and then from the outside for NC State, again strong rebounding. Fuller clearing out underneath, and 89-69 is the final in this one. Todd Fuller would finish with 28 points and 13 rebounds to go with 4 block shots. He's a young man that's come a long way.
He has really come a long ways, and is developing into one of the best players in the nation right now.
And tough in the ACC with some big, strong centers there that he's gone up against the last couple of years. Rhode Island against St. Joe's in the Atlantic 10. Off the fast break, Terrell Myers with a nice pass to Will Johnson, and he knocks down the slam, and St. Joseph's with a 62-56 lead. Antonio Reynolds, 11 points and 6 rebounds in this contest. So we're going to get you the tip in just a moment. And Coach Cady, we want to thank you for being with us. And we know there's been a lot of tragedy in your family this year, and we hope things are going much better for them.
Well, thank you. I've got a very strong wife, and our staff around me has been super, and my 6 seniors, and it's been unbelievable the support we've had from everyone, and I want to thank everyone. It's been a tough 5.5 weeks, but things are getting better.
Yeah, and continued improvement to your daughter as well. That's terrific to hear that she is improving. And we'll continue with more from Coach Cady at halftime. Stick around. The opening tip is coming up in a moment.
Mom, tell the truth. Is everything all right?
Is this where we reverse roles?
Be serious. I mean, you won't have to sell the house or anything, will you?
Well, why would I do that?
Mom.
Look, when you were away at school, Dad met with Greg Hall down at Payne-Weber.
No, that was 10 years ago, though.
They set up this annuity just in case anything happened.
So you have enough?
More than enough every month.
How'd the Payne-Weber guy know back then what Daddy wanted for you?
You asked.
How'd the Payne-Weber guy know back then what Daddy wanted for you? Yeah, asked.
What
It has the highest ground clearance in its class. But more importantly, 1996's pickup truck of the year comes with 190 horses, all with big chips on their shoulders. Toyota Tacoma. You simply can't find a more powerful compact truck.
You worry, you're overprotective, you're a parent. Isn't it nice to know that there's something almost effortless you can do to protect your family even more? Just ask your State Farm agent for a free family insurance checkup. It's a smart way for you to decide if your family's insurance coverage is up to date, so they'll be better protected. And maybe you'll worry a little less.
Wayne Winfield and Ron Williams were two of the most heavily recruited high school kids in the country. Of course, it wasn't for their game. It was for their minds. And thanks to the Navy College Fund and the Montgomery GI Bill, they have a chance to really use them because they can earn up to $30,000 for college. So, even if the NBA isn't in their future,
I guess that's game.
a BA is. For more information, call 1-800-USA-NAVY.
Saturday, ABC Sports takes you down the mountain, to the hoop, and off the tee. First, a new king will be crowned in the men's downhill when Columbian Coffee presents the World Alpine Skiing Championships. Then, on Payne Weber College basketball, there's regional action as Virginia invades North Carolina. Cincinnati meets DePaul, or out west, Arizona State takes on UCLA. And it's off to Hawaii as golf's top gun shoot it out in the sun at the United Airlines Hawaiian Open. It's all Saturday on ABC Sports. The 7-Up Shootout on ABC. Brought to you by Payne Weber. We believe our most important investment is an investment in relationships. Buick and your local dealers. Remember Buick, the new symbol for quality in America. 7-Up, it's an up thing. And Toyota and their full line of quality cars and trucks. Toyota, I love what you do for me.
Welcome back to Veterans Memorial Coliseum in Phoenix, Arizona. I'm Mark Jones in the house along with Terry Gannon and Lewis Johnson courtside. This is game 2 of the 7-Up Shootout. In game 1, North Carolina State defeated Arizona State by a huge margin, which made my partner, a former NC State grad, a very happy
Been many
man.
years, though, Mark. It has been many years.
Terry, let's break this one down, beginning with Cincinnati. They come in with a record of 18-1. Their lone loss was to UAB, but this is a team that uses a lot of people and is deep. And defensively, well, we were talking with the Arizona coaches before the game. They say that the press of Cincinnati will either kill them or make Arizona play very well.
If you handle the pressure, you get good shots against the pressure. You have to knock them down. But against Cincinnati, they're so physical. Much different than their 1992 team that went to the Final Four. I think they're more physical inside. They have more size. And Danny Fortune, a great player in the paint for Bob Huggins.
Yeah, mentioning NBA players from Cincinnati, our man at courtside is Lewis Johnson, and Lewis has a little more on the two teams, especially the Bearcats. Lewis?
Hey, that's right, Mark. Let's talk a few more numbers. Cincinnati coming into the 7-Up Shootout is 0-3. On the flip side of the coin, Arizona 3-0. Now, the last time these two teams met was back in '93. Arizona won by a margin of 10. And something else to think about, when those two teams played back in '93, they had 6 guys on the floor that are now playing in the NBA. So, Mark, I wonder how many guys out here today will be future NBA stars?
Yeah, interesting point, Lewis, and a good one, too, when you talk about some of those Cincinnati players that are in the NBA right now. Nick Van Exel and Corey Blunt with the Los Angeles Lakers, and the likes of Chris Mills from Arizona. Let's take a look at the starting 5 for the Wildcats, coming in ranked number 15 in the country. Joe McClain, the gunner from outside. Corey Williams, also at forward. Ben Davis, the big man in the middle. Miles Simon with a career high against UCLA 5 games ago. And Reggie Geary, the man who runs the show from the point, maybe the best defender in the entire nation. The head coach, the distinguished gentleman from Arizona. Every time I look at Lute Olson, I feel like voting for him for Congress.
You do, don't you? I tell you, you should be in a presidential race right now. But 7 Pac-10 titles for Lute Olson. The great career at Iowa, and now with the Arizona Wildcats, and going after win number 500 in his career this afternoon.
His 23rd season overall. A guy who has taken that program into the upper echelon of college programs in the country. Meanwhile, the starting five for the Bearcats: Keith Gregor, Danny Fortson at forwards, Art Long, the man in the middle, Damon Flint, who's been playing extremely well of late for Cincinnati. He's the guy who's been the most consistent for them, and Keith Legree running the point. And the man who's the head coach, the mild-mannered, the fiery, mercurial Bob Huggins, in his 7th year at Cincinnati. This team and this program has come a long way since his first year as head coach, when he had 8 scholarship players, Terry, and a walk-on from the football team. And really a different outlook this year. He's taking the program to a different level. I mean, early on in the season, when he felt a little complacency on his team, he told them, hey, you want to just get into the tournament, have a couple of wins, fine, we're already there. We're at that level. Right now, we're playing for the brass ring. He believes that this is a team that can go all the way, and there are few that would argue with him right now. Number 5 in the country. Kansas gets beat yesterday. This is one of those high-profile games that gets you a #1 seed, and that is possibly what they're playing for today. They're already 18-1. Cincinnati and Arizona both with respective huge opportunities to make a mark today. A look at our officiating crew today from the Atlantic Coast Conference. Frank Scagliotta, Rick Hartzell, Stephen Gordon, ACC officials, and a good crew. As Lewis Johnson mentioned, Cincinnati winless in 7-up shootout history. That young man hoping that continues, as opposed to the other side with the Bearcat fans all the way out here. I'll tell you what, some of you saw NC State beat Arizona State in the first game of this 7-up shootout by 20 points. And here in the second game, the intensity turned up just a notch, I would say. I mean, as soon as these two teams took the floor during warm-ups, you heard this entire building roar. When you look at Cincinnati, this Cincinnati team almost looks like the Cincinnati Bengals. A lot of beefcake up front, folks. Each of their starting 5 bench presses over 250 pounds. This is the Body by Jake team. But they can also play. I mean, that doesn't get a whole lot done if you can't shoot the basketball. They've got some scorers, too. And Joe McClain controls the opening tip. The Wildcats with possession. Underway in game 2 of the 7-up shootout. Straight man-to-man from Cincinnati. They'll come after you, though. Miles Simon, the jump stop. Rebound, Art Long. And here come the Bearcats. Arizona in the man-to-man. They've got to get help on Danny Fortson. He can score in the paint at will. Ben Davis, the man who's guarding him right now, but he can't do it one-on-one, Mark. It's knocked over the midcourt line, and a turnover by Cincinnati. Bob Huggins held a very spirited practice yesterday. When you walk into the gym, you know who's in charge. That's redundant with Bob Huggins. They're all spirited. Simon to Williams for the flush. Thank you very much, says Corey Williams. And Arizona draws first blood. And Huggins is going to his bench with less than a minute into the game. Well, Bob Huggins has been known to do this. A defensive lapse. You got Simons with the penetration, which created the easy dunk, and Bob Huggins not happy with the defense. You see the screen out high, and actually, it was Fortune who didn't step up with a switch or to at least show on the screen. You got to get up there. Darnell Berry into the game for Damon Flint. Flint will sit down and think it over beside his coach. Meanwhile, Danny Fortson fouled on the reverse layup. Wow. The one thing, like you mentioned, about Cincinnati and Bob Huggins, there are no communication problems. He lets you know exactly what time it is. And Damon Flint is finding that out right now. And Damon Flint, who's had an up-and-down career in terms of scoring and whatnot, but he may be the key for this Cincinnati team. His scoring from the outside, his all-around play, he can be a heck of a player. 6 games ago, Keith Legree, the point guard for Cincinnati, 3 minutes into the game, sat down because he gave a little lip service to his head coach, and he ended up playing just those 3 minutes, sat the next 37, didn't see the floor the rest of the game. And Art Long experienced that last week against South Florida. Played 4 minutes. And you see the pressure from the Bearcats. Davis with the baseline jumper. Simon says he goes real high for the tip.
If you can handle their pressure, you'll get good shots. That was a good shot, and Miles Simons with a nice little tip in.
Simon's been struggling just a little bit. Here's Darnell Burton for three. Rebound out of bounds, Cincinnati ball. And Damon Flint checks back into the ball game. Keith Legree will take a quick seat.
Keith Legree running the show, a very solid point guard. Started his career at Louisville. The open jump shot, it didn't go in, but a nice look.
The pass picked off by Corey Williams. Here's Geary. Arizona with a 4-2 lead with 18:27 to play in the first half. The foul inside is on Danny Fortson. You know, Bob Huggins was a little bit concerned coming into this ball game as to how the officiating crew was going to call this game.
It's interesting with a Bob Huggins club. It's a lot like Duke has been at times throughout the years because they pressure you so much that you can't call everything as an official. You know, but if you establish it early that you're going to call it tight, obviously that goes against the Cincinnati style of play.
Cincinnati, a physical team. Corey Williams missing the three. Here's Damon Flint. With the coach's advice still fresh in his mind. Fortson, nice interior pass to Art Long.
The high-low look and a look at the weakness of Arizona. Without Joseph Blair, who they lost to Academics 7 games ago, matching up inside is so tough today against Cincinnati.
Here's that pressure. Williams knifing to the basket. Knocked out of bounds. It'll be Arizona ball underneath. We've seen that full court 2-2-1 press twice now from the Bearcats. Both times Arizona has handled it fairly well.
And I'm going to tell you something. They are not intimidated at all.
Joe McClain is at the three ball on the way, and it's short. Here's Damon Flint.
We've talked a lot about Cincinnati. Arizona 17-4 right now. I mean, they've had a heck of a year. They're 7-3 in the Pac-10.
Inside to Art Long. Good position on Ben Davis. Art Long's had a rather inconsistent season, but he woke up 5 games ago against USC. And has picked it up a notch since. Long with 4 points. Davis inside.
No trouble with the traps right now from Cincinnati. Ben Davis on the receiving end finishes on the little break, but they work through the middle of the floor against the trap, handling it very well right now.
A steal, and here's Ricky Geary. To McClain. McClain was laying that one in the basket before he caught it.
Yeah, I think you're right.
Bob Huggins going to his bench again. Long sitting down. And Keith Legree coming back in. Flint also takes a seat. And Roderick Monroe comes into the ball game as well. Monroe's been getting a lot more playing time of late.
You saw the Kentucky score a moment ago. Most people tend to think that Kentucky, UMass, if you made the seeds right now, those two would have #1 seeds. Cincinnati's certainly a team that is playing throughout the next couple of weeks for a #1 seed.
Michael Dickerson into the ball game, Terry, meanwhile for Arizona. Simon missing the baseline three. Legree back the other way. Inside to Fortson. They collapse on him. Fortson fouled by Ben Davis. A nice drop step from Danny Fortson.
Does he use his body well, huh? I mean, the one drop step and the power dribble. Ben Davis backs off. He'll give him that shot. He'd rather have Danny Fortson take the shot, but Fortson just creates the contact and uses his body to spin away. Lute Olson didn't like the call at all, but that's what you're going to get when Danny Fortson catches it on the block.
Danny Fortson, a 73% free throw shooter, has 2 points today. 2 of 2 from the line. Interesting when you think about his foul shooting. President Clinton saw one of their games. It was against Arkansas. And Mr. President told Fortson, who was cold from the foul line in the game, to work on his foul shooting. Since that time, the next 4 games after that, he went 24 out of 27.
It'd be nice if the deficit were that easy to solve, wouldn't it?
And he shot 77% from the line since that time. Williams with the jump hook. And we're knotted at 8 apiece. Corey Williams with 4 in the ball game.
He's really played great for them, too, since Joseph Blair went out of the lineup.
Roderick Monroe, nice interior pass to Fortson, who's fouled on the play. And Terry, do you see a trend developing with them wearing down Arizona maybe inside?
No secret, Mark, what Cincinnati wants to do, at least early in this game. Establish Danny Fortson inside. I'm sure Bob Huggins feels like he has an advantage over Lute Olson inside. But on the other end of the court, Arizona's getting easy shots. The nice rise by Corey Williams. They're getting a lot of easy looks around the basket, which is unusual against Cincinnati.
Meanwhile, Fortson at the line with 4 points in the ballgame, 4 of 4 from the line. And Mr. President, if you're watching, Danny has been working on his foul shooting stroke. If you check that right shoulder of Danny Fortson, there's a brand new tattoo. You can see it there on his right bicep, actually. It says Danny Boy, and had a little Neosporin on it yesterday. It's still a little bit sore. What some kids won't do with $100 in their pocket.
I still don't get it. I don't get the tattoo thing. I'm sorry.
Fortson, one of the premier big men in the country. But it doesn't matter. Everyone is fair game to Bob Huggins. Cincinnati leads by 1, 9-8. Just underway here in game 2 of the 7-up shootout. I'm Mark Jones along with Terry Gannon and Lewis Johnson courtside.
Reggie Geary, a key for Arizona handling the basketball today. So far, no problems at all.
Geary dishing to A.J. Bramlett, who just entered the game. The freshman gets credited with the bucket on the goaltend by Art Long. Arizona by 1 when we come back.
7-up places. It's a given. It's the way it makes you feel. It's the lift that you get. It's a rhythm in your step, cause it's cool and it's wonderful and it's lemon and lime. 7-up. It's an up thing. It's 7-up. Does it every time. It's 7-up. Yeah, it's an up thing. It's clear and it's wonderful and it's totally fine. 7-up. Hey, it's an up thing.
It's an up thing.
This is incredible.
Incredible.
What is it?
The double supreme cheeseburger. It's new. Brand new.
Same kind of stuff as the Big Mac.
Yeah, but I like this better.
Oh, that's because Burger King flame broils them.
It's got a lot more beef. A lot more beef.
Gonna take all lunch hour to finish one.
The Burger King Double Supreme Cheeseburger. Less bread and 75% more beef than a Big Mac. And it's flame broiled, never fried. With fries and a drink, just $2.99.
Well, back to work. What's the rush?
I don't think we're gonna be too busy.
Maybe Burger King won't advertise it.
Let me guess. One side of you craves easy chair comfort, while the other side itches for performance, right? Well, meet Buick Regal with its famous 3800 V6 engine and Grand Touring suspension. Add to that an all-new interior with body-sensitive seats. And finally, there's a car for the two of you. Buick Regal.
This is about advanced communication technology, about what's happening today, how things like the virtual office and call centers can work for your business. But it's not about bits, bytes, spells, or whistles. This is about people who know how to listen and where to look, people who can help you put all the pieces together and even get you the hardware and software you need. This is about how simple things can be, about knowing who, about knowing how. Network MCI, that's how.
Thursday, Golden Globe winner Sharon Stone in her most spine-tingling erotic thriller.
Do you like to watch?
Sliver, Thursday on ABC. Parental discretion advised.
The signature of Cincinnati is its defensive pressure. Look at how they stifle opponents from the field.
Creating 18-plus turnovers a game, and it's tough to score when you can't get it across half court.
And in the last 3 games, the Bearcats have really taken care of the ball themselves. They don't turn it over much for a team that runs as much as they do.
Well, they pick their spots, and they've got a leader in the Greek. Heady player.
Darnell Burton has it rejected by Reggie Geary. Simon has it picked by Burton. Arizona's ball out of bounds. Well, tomorrow night on ABC, a new episode of brand new series, Second Noah, followed by Barbara Walters and an uplifting new ABC News Turning Point special, Race for a Miracle. Then the top continues on an all-new Murder One. All tomorrow night, right here on ABC. 15-14 to play in the first half. Arizona leading by 1. Dickerson gets caught up in the air. Out to Gary. Simon puts it on spin try. Nice feed inside to A.J. Bramlett. And there's a foul on Cincinnati.
But Bob Huggins can't be real happy about his defense right now because Arizona is able, well, they've been able a number of times to drive right to the basket, either get the dish or a foul or a hoop, and you can't allow people to penetrate all the way down inside that dotted line, and that's what the Wildcats have been able to do. Here's the trap.
Out of bounds. Geary claiming that he was pushed out of bounds. Falling on the deaf ears of the official, though.
Yeah, there was certainly a little bumping going on, but that's what you're going to get against Cincinnati, and they cannot call all of those. So against the traps, you better be ready for the contact.
Bump and grind, a part of their game. Under 15 minutes to play in the first half. Arizona leads 10-9.
They're playing on Fortson right now.
Art Long rejected by Michael Dickerson.
And Reggie Geary a part of that as well. He was a part of the last turnover created. You're not going to be able to go one-on-one much against Geary. Watch Geary dig down. You see that? He forces him to the baseline, and Geary actually gets the block.
Damon Flint with his first field goal attempt. Rebound Long. And here's Reggie Geary. Dickerson, a slasher, had one of his better games against UCLA in a home court victory. Geary forced that one just a little bit.
Yeah, not a very good shot.
They don't want Reggie Geary taking more than 5 or 6 shots maximum per game.
In a defensive mismatch right now for Arizona, they've got McClain on Art Long.
Geary almost had the steal. Flint wide open for 3. Straight butter, baby. Damon Flint really starting to hit his three-point attempts. Flint hitting 38% from behind the stripe.
The 2-2-1 now from Cincinnati. Different look. Not a good place to pick up your dribble.
When you watch them work on their press in practice, you always hear the coaches, Terry, shouting out, big hands, big hands. They always have their hands and arms outstretched.
Well, it's repetition, too. I mean, you watch a Cincinnati practice or a Lute Olson practice, and kids sometimes wonder, why are we doing this again? We've done it a million times. Repetition, and then it's just natural during games. And games are almost a relief.
Oh, Reggie Geary from up on high. Come on down for the downstroke with Reggie Geary.
Well, that's one way to beat defense, huh?
Wow.
Well, they wondered whether he could make the transition to point guard this year. I think he's made it.
Nobody boxed him out, and he just waltzed right down Main Street and flushed it home. Arizona tying the game at 12 apiece.
And a little more pressure now from the Wildcats. Anytime you have a dunk like that, you seem to get a little more pressure the next time down.
Jason Terry, a freshman, is in the ballgame for Arizona, number 31. Flint hit his last 3. Now he's got 2. Take a picture of that one.
Shows it to the Arizona bench, and he can get on a roll in a hurry.
15-12, Cincinnati leading, and here's the Bearcat pressure. Dickerson. A wide open Joe McClain. Air ball, but there's Bramlett. Knocked out of bounds. Arizona ball. You don't see Joe McClain shoot air balls that often.
No, but it was a good shot. I mean, the ball movement right now by the Wildcats is so impressive. They have come out. They haven't been intimidated at all by the defense, the traps, the physical nature of Cincinnati's defense. And Bramlett right underneath for the rebound and off of the leg of a Cincinnati player. Offensively, Arizona's really been impressive so far.
Moments ago, though, Reggie Geary brought this crowd to life with an electrifying dunk off a tip. 12:40 to play in the first half. Terry out top. Arizona in its motion offense. Gregor right up in the face of Michael Dickerson. And he gets whistled for the foul.
Bob Huggins gave him a look. Like, we don't call that in practice. That's not a foul.
Arizona ball out of bounds. McLean, Williams, Dickerson, and Terry, and Simon on the floor. It's a small team, Terry, for Arizona right now.
A lot of action, though. A lot of motion offensively. Very active.
The shot partially blocked by Fortson. Cincinnati, they really help out and get back to their man well. Dickerson nails it.
Mark, where this lineup for Arizona's going to struggle, though, maybe is on the defensive end of the floor. You've got Long, you've got Fortson, and you're trying to guard them with Corey Williams and Joe McLean. Playing on Fortson right now. Cincinnati ought to get him the basketball.
Fortson with about 4 inches and 40 pounds on McLean.
Nope. Wave it off.
Offensive interference. The hoop will not count. But if you're Bob Huggins, you don't mind seeing Danny Fortson go to the glass aggressively. The Bearcats leading by a single with 11:47 to go in the first half.
Okay, so you're out in the middle of nowhere, trapped inside a giant maze. A 10-ton ball is chasing you. It's trying to crush you. Hey, it could happen. The powerful, comfortable T100 Extra Cab. It's the Toyota of big trucks.
There's over 173 different sports in the world, and each has its own special outfit. Running shorts with storm flaps, what's gonna get in there? I don't know! What you need is this. Discus Athletic. Athletic wear made for every sport. Shaq! Oh, Shaq! One brand for 173 different sports. Discus Athletic. One thing to wear. Well, maybe only 172.
You worry? You're overprotective? You're a parent. Isn't it nice to know that there's something almost effortless you can do to protect your family even more? Just ask your State Farm agent for a free family insurance checkup. It's a smart way for you to decide if your family's insurance coverage is up to date. So they'll be better protected. And maybe you'll worry a little less.
Jesse, you're next.
I'm all yours.
Save it for the stage, Romeo.
Carol always gives it to me straight. Like when she told me about my...
I told him about Head & Shoulders. Regular shampoos just rinse flakes away so they could come back. Head & Shoulders helps prevent flakes from even forming. You see the difference? You look great.
Thanks, but will it get me this part?
Couldn't hurt.
Head & Shoulders, because great hair can't have flakes.
Hey, break a leg.
Wouldn't a weekend in Hawaii be nice? Swing over to Paradise as golf's best shoot it out in the United Airlines Hawaiian Open, Saturday, here on ABC Sports.
Cincinnati leading Arizona 15-14. A look at the best defensive player in the Pac-10, Reggie Geary, and offensively, he can get it done too.
Well, he's done his time with Khalid Reeves and David Stoudemire. Now it's his time. How about the head up near the rim, the look-away dunk on the tip, straight down Broadway.
Cincinnati leading 15-14 in game 2 of the 7-up shootout.
Little zone now, little matchup from Cincinnati.
Dickerson drawing traffic.
Good patience against this zone. First look at it.
Dickerson hits nothing but string. And Arizona now takes a 1-point lead.
Boy, they look so good right now offensively. We've played over 8 minutes, almost 9 minutes. Arizona's turned it over once against Cincinnati's trap.
Damon Flynn had it knocked away by Jason Terry. And now, little full-court, three-quarter court pressure coming from Arizona. Terry, there's a theory that teams that press a lot don't like to be pressed. Your thoughts on that?
I think it's true. You know, and right now, Keith Legree comes back into the game, but he was out of the game. So it's an even better time for Lute Olson to come up and try to apply some pressure. Now Legree is back in. They ought to be fine with it.
Jackson Jewelson also coming in the game, the big man for Cincinnati. Fortson muscling his way to the basket, and he is fouled. Danny Fortson put on 25 pounds of muscle in the offseason and reduced his body fat to just 8%. Another look at his work inside.
Still got a lot of weight, though. There's still a lot of weight on that frame, and he is hard to stop inside. You know, the one knock on him is that he doesn't have great leaping ability, but he doesn't seem to need it.
Jackson Julson with the deuce inside, the 6'9" sophomore from Grayson, Kentucky. His first two of the ball game, and Cincinnati has the lead again, 17-16 with 10:38 to play in the first half.
Again, the matchup by Cincinnati. Dickerson knocked down an outside J against it last time.
And they get a turnover out of the Wildcats. And a foul from Reggie Gary. It's bound to get you at some point.
It does wear on you. Reggie Gary turning it over, though, in a situation that I think he feels really is an unforced error. I mean, there was not pressure defense that time. That was just, he threw the ball right into the leg of the defender, Donnell Burton.
And Terry, Arizona still with a relatively small lineup on the floor. In essence, 3, maybe even 4 guards and Corey Williams.
Ben Davis with the 2 fouls really hurt them, but you know, all they want to do is buy time, and they are right now.
Darnell Burton barely draws iron. But he's not shy. He'll keep shooting it.
Oh, yeah.
And Miles Simon blew a tire. Got his brand new kicks for today. Some of the shoes they make these days, boy, I'm telling you. Straps and Velcro and pumps. And
we were in a shoe store last night. There were shoes there that even you wouldn't wear.
Don't tell me.
I'm telling you.
Don't tell me.
Oh, for the old canvas ones, huh?
Whatever happened to Chuck Taylor's, huh? 10-12 to play in the first half. Reggie Gary over midcourt for Arizona. Simon with a nice ball fake. Dickerson for 3.
Spot him up and let him go.
That's his spot. On the baseline, Dickerson now with 7 points in the ball game. Dickerson recently saying to the media in Arizona and Tucson that he's not sure exactly what his role is on the team. A little bit confused and a little bit frustrated with his perceived lack of playing time, but he's making the most of his time today.
I'd go with what he's been doing the last couple of trips up the floor.
Legree on the penetration. Rejected by Dickerson. Davis throws it away. Williams. And he blows it. McClain on the rebound. Williams again. Goes 0 for 2 on that series. Calls for the foul and doesn't get it.
And his crowd was ready to leave its seats. I mean, this is not a neutral floor in terms of the crowd. Arizona people all throughout this building.
Damon Flint, Terry, getting set to check back in the ball game for the Bearcats. Arizona up by 2. Legree missing the 3-footer. Lots of contact under the boards and no whistle. Here's Simon. Spin it up and book it.
How about the spin? What a move. And his club is playing so well right now with so much confidence against a Cincinnati club that tends to intimidate you as soon as they play some pressure. This is impressive.
Miles Simon has started to break out of the slump. He started breaking out in the second half against Arizona State earlier this week.
Watch the stop, the spin, under control the entire way, straight up and down, and he didn't allow Keith Legree to draw the charge. Watch the spin, and now here's the key. So many players would be out of control. Go ahead and draw the charge straight up and straight down. That was nice.
Miles Simon from the same high school as Reggie Gary. Reggie Gary out of Modern Day High School.
You know, the other move, too, by Lute Olson, with that pressure up front. Bob Huggins went to the bench, brought Keith Legree in. Damon Flint went to the bench. He had hit 2 straight 3-pointers. We'll see if he can heat up again. Arizona can't allow him to get many more.
They go inside to Fortson, and Fortson is called for the offensive foul. And Art Long quickly gets up off the bench and checks into the ballgame.
Manny Fortson's second foul inside. He lost the handle. Yep, just lowered the shoulder right into McClain. And McClain, look at him on the ground, pumped up.
Let's hope that there are no lip readers in the audience today. Dickerson with a foray to the basket is fouled. Bobby Brannon, number 34.
On the receiving end yesterday at practice of some very specific instructions from Bob Huggins, his coach.
Rather colorful instructions.
Oh, yeah.
Michael Dickerson, a sophomore, out of the Seattle area. Dickerson has the benefit of playing with a lot of NBA players in the summer, Terry, up in Seattle at the sports club. Plays with the likes of Doug Christie and Jerome Kersey. Cliff Robinson is up there. So when you play with guys like that, your game is bound to get better. And Dickerson really has improved over the summer.
Got 9 already today, and a little bit of pressure from Arizona. Now, you've got Flint in the game for Cincinnati, and you have Burton, 2 scorers from the outside.
LeGree with a 2-on-1. McClain takes the charge.
Nowhere to go. Absolutely nowhere to go for Keith LeGree. And it's the second charge that McClain has gotten in the last 2 possessions.
Joe McClain, the fuming punching bag. He's getting run over. Taking one for the team again.
Watch. No question about it. Keith LeGree up in the air, and McClain just holds his ground.
There's a look at the human floor burn. Arizona with a 6-point lead. Approaching 8 minutes to play now in the first half. McClain with a sweet ball fake. Williams atoning for the missed dunk with the follow right there.
Mark, I'll tell you what, I've seen Cincinnati a couple times this year. Arizona's getting easier shots than anybody I've seen get. I mean, they are getting layups against that pressure.
Long inside. They collapse on him, so Damon Flint takes a 3 ball, and it's all good. Cutting the lead to 5.
3 threes in a row.
And Damon Flint looked over at me and said, he can't cover me. They can't guard me.
Well, he may be right right now.
Simon out top. Reggie Gary for 3. He wants to get some. Williams blocked out on the boards by Art Long. And the foul is on Corey Williams, who calls for... He's a little tired and winded, but Arizona has a 5-point lead when we come back.
Certainly isn't the same old place.
No kidding.
I'm thinking of early retirement.
I'm not thinking about it. I'm doing it. 2 more years.
You can swing?
Yeah, my Payne Weber guy helped me out with it. Remember the stock money we got after the '84 buyout? He took it and restructured my entire portfolio.
How did he know you wanted out back then?
He asked.
As sure as the sun will rise across America, the families that travel will have one common need: to be safe. That's why so many American families put their trust in Buick LeSabre. In fact, they've made LeSabre the best-selling full-size car in America 4 years in a row. Buick LeSabre, the American family car.
Hey, isn't that Calvin? Yeah, what's he doing at Burger King? Must have heard about that tasty new Double Supreme Cheeseburger.
Why get a fried Big Mac when the new Double Supreme Cheeseburger at Burger King has that great flame broil taste with 75% more beef and less bread?
What if somebody sees him? Well, I guess he can't help himself.
Cheese, fresh toppings, and a special sauce. A value meal's $2.99, but it's for a limited time.
Now where's he going? Back to work. He just comes here to eat. Yeah.
The $2.99 Double Supreme Value Meal.
Calvin?
This is about how you go to sleep one day, running your business the same way you always have, and wake up the next morning with things like email, voicemail, PCs, pagers, a whole new communications network. It's not a fairy tale, a myth, or a parable. This is about how things can really happen. This is about opening your eyes instead of closing them, and making a call instead of a wish. Network MCI, that's how.
The Big 8 meets the ACC when the Missouri Tigers roll into Maryland for a showdown with the Terrapins. It's Payne Weber College Basketball next Sunday on ABC Sports.
As they say on the blacktop at West 4th Street in the city of Manhattan, Damon Flint is dropping space. He has made 3 3-pointers already today. Arizona, though, better from the field.
And Mark, what's telling is that they have 24 shots. Cincinnati only 16 at this point. So they're getting the outside game from Flint, but they haven't established the inside game to work on the glass, going after offensive rebounds. Got to go inside first and then come back outside for the three.
Meanwhile, Danny Forks into the Bearcats on the bench with 2 personal fouls. Flint for 3. That one maybe a little bit too far.
Well, he mentioned to you that they couldn't guard him, but I'm not sure they have to guard him from there.
He took that one by the old NBA three-point line. Arizona going man-to-man off the inbound pass. Here's Darnell Burton. He can heat it up in a hurry. Inside, Monroe with the putback.
Exactly what Bob Huggins needs at this point. Some work on the glass, some second shots, some inside presence.
And here's Dickerson, the high man for Arizona, knocked away by Legree. And a foul on Miles Simon. We've got another great weekend of action coming up on Payne Weber College basketball. Saturday at 2 Eastern and Pacific on ABC. Cincinnati takes on DePaul. Arizona State faces their Pac-10 rival UCLA, or Virginia battles with North Carolina. In regional action, and next Sunday, Missouri meets Maryland. Check your local listings for the games in your area next weekend, right here on ABC.
Missouri with the upset win against Kansas.
Legree missing the foul shot. Long with the putback, misses. Cincinnati pounding the glass. Flint. And Arizona finally controls.
Bodies flying all over the place. This is not a bad game here, Mark. We're working.
Bramlett mugged and thugged by Long. Both teams, Terry, are very good in transition. Offense to defense, defense to offense.
Well, you know what Arizona does very well when you watch them is they convert in transition. A lot of teams get up the floor. They have players who can run, big men who can run, but Lute Olson's club really gets it done at the end of the fast break. Most times they do convert when they have any kind of numbers.
And it shows in their offensive output. Arizona, a very high-scoring team. Bramlett, the freshman, missing the first of 2, and look at that plummeting free throw percentage. One of the lost arts in college basketball. It chucks up another break.
Pretty good shooting club, though. They shoot about 50%. Last 4 games have been down about 42, but a pretty good shooting basketball team.
Arizona still in its man. Roderick Monroe posting up. On the turnaround, and it's knocked out of bounds. And Huggins is going ballistic on the sidelines.
Well, he's at the opposite end, and no one could hear him, so he started jumping up and down. You heard the stomp of the feet on him. Boy, what he has done with this program. Now, they had all the success in 50s and 60s. But look at Gary again. Here comes the G-Dog.
Reggie Gary with the hammer. And they've got to fix the iron. Reggie Gary bent it, and it didn't spring back.
Well, look, off the steal, too, and that's where Gary gets it done. Great defensive player, the anticipation, and then the slam dunk. A little less eventful than the last one, though.
His chest very puffy after that dunk. Legree wide open. Inside to Flint, blocked on the reverse. Gets it back and scores it. Damon Flint taking charge offensively for Cincinnati. He has 11 in the ball game. They trail, though, by 3 with 5:21 to play. 5:23 in the first half. McClain almost.
I don't know, Burton cannot believe the call. He thought he was there. McClain somehow got the shot off after the contact. Take a look, see if he is planted. Burton underneath, here he comes. You know what? He was there, but he reached. If he doesn't reach, there's no foul there, or maybe it goes the other way.
Yeah, Terry, most times when you make that swiping or swatting motion at the ball, you'll get whistled for the foul. Here's McClain at the foul line, usually a pretty good foul shooter. Missing the first of 2, the 6'6" senior from Concord, California. Had a career high earlier this year against Arizona State, not in the last meeting, but in the first meeting. He went off for 30 points.
Number 1 3-point shooter in the Pac-10 percentage-wise. Shoots about 50%.
Ben Davis, his teammate, calls Joe McClain the toaster oven. He's not quite a microwave, but he can heat it up still. Takes him a little longer than a
pretty
microwave.
quickly, yeah.
Long almost throws it away. Cincinnati trailing by 4 here in game 2 of the 7-up shootout with 5:11 to play in the first half. And coming up with the Network MCA halftime report, John Saunders will be joined by Purdue head coach Gene Cady. We'll have today's scores and highlights from a busy Sunday afternoon, pardon me, in college basketball. They have been manning the studio operation all day long. Flint at the line. He has 11 in the ball game, and this is his first free throw attempt of the game. Monroe wrests it away from Arizona and puts it in.
Lute unhappy about the putback, and remember, Arizona's done all of this in the first half, or almost all of it, without Ben Davis, who has 2 fouls.
Terry, that was strictly an effort play by Roderick Monroe. He ripped the ball away from Corey Williams, and Lute Olson let Williams know about it. Arizona living on the edge. Not one of the prettier sequences that you'll ever see from the Wildcats.
That's exactly how Lute drew it up on the blackboard before we came out here. You see the guards talking about it. Reggie Geary talking to Jason Terry about what they want to do against the pressure. That was obviously not what they wanted to do. But what a nice save by McClain, and the tip by Geary, the presence of mind to know where his teammates are, and they draw the foul.
Both of these head coaches, Terry, are working these officials. I mean, these officials' ears are burning.
Well, they both have been around for a while, and Bob Huggins obviously is up most of the time, and Lute Olson not about to let him have an advantage with the officials.
Arizona, meanwhile, taking a 4-point lead under 5 minutes to play in game 2 here in the first half of the 7-up shootout. Flint off the screen.
Arizona switching on all the down screens.
Long. And Burton from outside. Still can't find the range. Legree misses. And a foul on Reggie Geary. Roderick Monroe has been getting more playing time of late. And that in part is due because of the fact that they've been working the press a little better, and he's had to come in and play.
A miss by Burton, and who ends up with the basketball? Keith Legree, the point guard, who weighs about 215 pounds. That's the Cincinnati club. Now they stack up, and Monroe doing a lot of work as well on the glass. Got the second foul on Geary, right?
Yep. Monroe at the line, shooting the bonus. Physically, pound for pound, the strongest player on the Cincinnati team.
Which is saying a lot.
Yeah, Mickey Marotti, the strength and conditioning coach for Cincinnati, calls him a freak of nature. With those long arms, he can still bench press well over 300 pounds. He has 5 points off the bench with 4 rebounds. Way off the mark on the second one. Flint with the putback. Who's got it? Darnell Burton lays it in. And it's a 1-point lead for Arizona. Here's Jason Terry. Out of bounds, and our stat man, George Hill, diving out of the way. George is always bailing out.
George was quick, though. Benny Fortson on the bench as well with 2 fouls. So he has been on the bench for much of the first half. Ben Davis on the bench for Arizona much of the first half.
Do you bring Danny Fortson back in the first half if you're a coach, Terry?
No, I don't think so. I mean, right now, 4 minutes plus, it's a 1-point game. You're doing fine.
There's Geary on the wing, guarded by Flint. Geary steps out of bounds. And Michael Dickerson set to check into the game for the Wildcats. Jason Terry taking a seat.
Reggie Geary kind of got caught in that no man's land. Nowhere to go. Down on the baseline, about 15 feet from the basket. The trap comes, and you lose a sense of where you are in the court.
Melvin Levitt coming in for Cincinnati, number 23, the freshman from Cleveland, Ohio. He's a 6'4" guard forward. Darnell Burton taking a seat.
And he can get up in the air. They called him a helicopter in high school.
Here he is on the wing. Brannon out top. Down low to Legree. Posting up on the smaller Dickerson and missing the layup. Here's McClain. Fouled and he'll get 2. The foul is on number 44, Monroe.
Now, the one thing you know when Joe McClain gets the ball on the break, he's going straight to the hole. I mean, there is no question. Watch when he receives this ball. His eyes at the end are not even on the rim. Watch this. He's looking straight down. He's worried about who's underneath him and where he's going.
There's some people around the country, in the Pac-10, people know a little better, but some people are quick to label Joe McClain as basically a catch-and-shoot, spot-up jump shot type player, but he's much more than that.
I would disagree with that entirely. I mean, we've seen what he can do on the break. We've seen him on loose balls, get the ball to people in certain areas in the court. I think he's a good passer.
Pretty good player. McClain makes the second of 2, giving him 2 points in the game. Arizona leads by a deuce with 3:39 to go in the first half.
Because someday you'll get that big promotion that moves you to Seattle. Someday kids will be in the picture. And someday you'll get away to write the great American novel. It'll happen. That's why we've spent 28 years constantly improving the Corolla. So wherever life takes you, we'll be there. The newly restyled Toyota Corolla. We're looking forward to tomorrow.
Announcing a powerful breakthrough of incredible proportions. Incredibly small proportions. New Actron, a powerful pain reliever with ketoprofen, finally available without a prescription. Actron is so powerful, just 12.5 milligrams are as effective as 200 milligrams of Advil or 650 milligrams of Tylenol for headaches and body pain. New Actron, the pain reliever that's so small because it's so powerful.
Have you heard what Jim's driving?
What's he got now?
You can see this thing.
What an incredible machine.
Sleek, aerodynamic.
Fast?
Oh, yeah. That baby really moves.
So what kind of engine does he have in that thing anyway?
Nuclear reactor.
You'd be amazed at what teenagers are driving these days.
Right full rudder, steady course 355, helm on.
For more information, call 1-800-USA-NAVY.
Tylenol was always around, so I always used it. I mean, you know, for all the things that you use Tylenol for. But my mother said she's always giving out medical advice. She said to relieve headaches, you should take Excedrin. It's better than Tylenol. She was right. Major bonding experience with Mom. I mean, plus, I got something that's better for headaches. I mean, what more could you want out of life?
Excedrin, the headache medicine.
The 7-Up Shootout on ABC. Brought to you by Payne Weber. We believe our most important investment is an investment in relationships. Network MCI. How to get modern communications technology working for your business. Burger King, where you can get your burger's worth. And Toyota and their full line of quality cars and trucks. Toyota, I love what you do for me.
Arizona in the process of trying to make it 3 wins in a row against Cincinnati, as they have a 2-point lead here in game 2 of the 7-Up Shootout. I'm Mark Jones along with Terry Gannon and Lewis Johnson courtside. Throw it over to Lewis.
Hey, Mark, you know, Danny Fortson, the Cincinnati big man, already being talked about by the Cincinnati sports writers is about going to the NBA. He's got great potential, but he's very close to his AAU coach. His old AAU coach goes by the name of J.O. Strike. Mr. Strike advising him to stay at Cincinnati. Don't get out too early. Stay there and play that college ball, kid. You need it. Mark?
All right, Lewis, might be a pretty good idea. Fortson, only a sophomore, too.
Yeah, and I think he's given indications that he is going to stay at Cincinnati. A little work on his defense, passing, some footwork, and that type of stuff. More importantly right now, though, Mark, Reggie Geary just picked up foul number 3 going after that steal. An ill-advised little strip in there against Legree, so 3 fouls with only 3:29 to play in the first half.
And he is an important part of that Arizona team. He runs the show. Without him, that means that there will be increased pressure on the freshman Jason Terry.
And increased pressure altogether from Cincinnati.
Exactly.
You can bet on that.
Now, Terry, an interesting point. This small lineup by Arizona really has thrived, actually, against Cincinnati, which is a bit of a surprise, I think, to me anyway.
It's a surprise defensively. And how do you guard Art Long, Danny Fortson, inside, Monroe inside. But what's happened is Kenny Fortson's gone to the bench with 2 fouls, so you don't have to worry about him. Art Long has really not been a presence. He's on the bench right now. So it's a lineup that can handle the traps and get some good shots.
Terry Michael Dickerson, meanwhile, with 11 points in the ballgame after making those foul shots. Arizona leading by 3 with 3:20 to go in the first half of game 2 here at the 7-up shootout. Flint for 3. And he's cooled off. He's missed his last 2 3-point attempts. Here's Levitt with possession for Cincinnati.
Key possession, too, after that rebound. Arizona just gave it right back.
Flint driving and hanging and missing. Monroe couldn't find the handle. Here's Arizona. Simon.
It's got ugly here.
Living on the edge.
Somehow the Wildcats hold on to it.
Ethan. The football player comes in and gets the bucket. Arizona with a 5-point lead.
Simon on Flint now. Now they switch Ethan on Flint.
Levitt had a notion. Here's Brandon out top. McGree. Monroe trying to post up on McClain.
McClain really working inside.
McGree on the crossover. Breaks off Simon a little bit, but can't get the jumper to fall. Brandon inside and the putback.
Nice stick back for Brandon, because offensively right now Cincinnati really with no rhythm. I mean, no real sense of purpose.
Dickerson turns it over. And here's Levitt. Showtime. Mel. And Lute wants to take a 20.
Well, that's all the purpose you need. Get to Melvin ahead on the break and let him dunk.
Levitt to Tower. And Cincy is down by just 1, Terry.
Well, there's no one who is going to stop Levitt straight to the basket. He's ended the last couple of games with some monster dunks. And yes, they do know where the cameras are these days.
Styling and profiling. Melvin Levitt, the 6'4" freshman from Cleveland, makes it 35-34 with 1:44 to play now in the first half.
Obviously, Lute Olson, with a 1-point lead with under 2 minutes in the first half, has to be happy about this. But the thing that has to concern him right now is point guard Reggie Geary picked up his 3rd foul a moment ago. And you look at the turnover situation, Arizona's done a nice job of handling the basketball.
Cincinnati causing 8 turnovers, but only 2 points to show for it. Ethan with a nice feed to Dickerson. And he misses the easy one. 2 for a quarter special on Sunday. Dickerson with 13 in the ball game. McGree against Dickerson. Brandon on the wing. McGree likes it down low, doesn't he? As small as he is, he likes the physical banging down inside.
Yeah, that came from Bob Huggins, too. Out of the timeout, they posted up the guards.
Williams got to get a hand in his face. He can hit it.
They just left him. I mean, Keith McGree was with him at the top of the key, and he just left him. He walked away.
Coach let him know about it a little bit. And now the partisans here, largely in favor of the Wildcats, coming collectively to their feet. Brannon gets the bucket to go. And it's a 1-point lead for the Wildcats.
And more pressure off the May basket.
Here's Dickerson. A 1-man press break.
Oh, where are you going?
Dribbling into trouble. Out of bounds off of the Bearcats.
No need to go coast to coast there. Shot clock is off. Lute Olson expecting his team to bring it back out, which is not easy against the pressure. Don't get me wrong, but 19.3 now, and obviously they want to take the last shot of the half.
Terrence Davis checking into the ball game for Cincinnati. Cincinnati goes man off the inbound pass. 15 seconds to play now in the first half.
Miles Simon will handle it for the last shot here. Geary out of the game. The
Tried to hit Dickerson coming off the curl. Baseline jump shot on its way. McClain, got it. A timely rebound for Joe McClain of the Wildcats. As the Pac-10 representative in this game, Arizona takes a 3-point lead into the locker room. Joe McClain, Johnny on the spot. Arizona with the lead. Stay tuned for John Saunders with scores and highlights after this message and a word from our ABC stations.
You've always made a great team. Together growing, dreaming, caring, and sharing the rewards along the way. Park Avenue. For the comfort, for the luxury, for the quality. Congratulations. You've earned it. Buick Park Avenue.
Hey, isn't that Calvin? Yeah, what's he doing at Burger King? Must have heard about that tasty new Double Supreme Cheeseburger.
Why get a fried Big Mac when the new Double Supreme Cheeseburger at Burger King has that great flame broil taste with 75% more beef and less bread?
What if somebody sees him? Well, I guess he can't help himself.
Cheese, fresh toppings, and a special sauce. A value meal's $2.99, but it's for a limited time.
Now where's he going? Back to work. He just comes here to eat. Yeah.
The $2.99 Double Supreme Value Meal.
Calvin?
Monday. If I wasn't your son, would I have made your cut? Absolutely.
I'm not a great player, and you're becoming a bad coach.
How far will a father bend the rules for his son?
Is basketball the only way I can make you proud of me?
An all-new Second Noah, Monday on ABC.
It's the Comedy Spot.
Tuesday, it's a television first.
Today, we're honored to meet the crew of the Space Shuttle Columbia.
With video actually shot in space, exclusively for Home Improvement.
Congratulations, Tim, on your first intergalactic screw-up.
Tuesday.
Excitement is in the air at Desert Diamond Casino. Join us for Cupid's Commotion, Monday, February 12th through Thursday, February 15th. You're sure to fall in love with all the fun this event has to offer. Register to win Cupid's daily prize giveaways and the grand prize of $1,000 in diamond jewelry from S. Silverberg & Sons. You'll love our progressive slots featuring Quartermania and Megabucks, high-stakes bingo, live poker, video blackjack, live keno, video craps, and more. So come see what Cupid has in store for you at Desert Diamond Casino on Nogales Highway 1 mile south of Valencia.
It's Gus's Guide to the Game. When we're watching hoops, it's all about moves.
Check out my 360 spin.
Ooh,
The pickpocket steal.
around the back, 3-finger dial. Yes. Dominoes.
Sweet move.
Call now for the Wildcat Special. Get a large pepperoni pizza and 2 20-ounce Cokes for only $10. Add an order of buffalo wings for only $3.99. Good today only, so call now.
Praise your children to improve their self-esteem.
Welcome to the Network MCI Halftime Report. Your host, John Saunders.
Alongside Gene Katie, the head coach at Purdue. Now, how'd you like to be Bob Huggins? They tell you you're going to play in a neutral site game, and you got to play Arizona in Phoenix.
Well, there's a lot of red up in those stands, so I think there's a little bit of a problem there. Not many people from Cincinnati out there.
Yeah, they're not going to believe that that's a neutral site too much, but it is a 41-38 lead right now for Arizona. Let's check some other scores, beginning with Kentucky, the #2 team in the nation, right now with an 8-point lead over Arkansas. It was 3 at halftime. Kentucky going on a 19-6 run. That's what's opened this thing up. Mark Pope with 11, Walter McCarty also with 11 points. Texas and TCU. This was all Texas in the first half. Reggie Freeman follows his own miss, throws it up. One of the leading scorers in the nation, gets fouled as well, and that score is correct. 30-point lead, 58-28. Freeman with 18 points. Lamont Hill has 20. West Virginia blows out Seton Hall. Danny Hurley did not play in the game because of a concussion. Greg Simpson had 16 points. And for St. John's, they come back and beat Notre Dame, a team that beat them earlier this year, and a big win for Brian Mahoney.
Well, that's great because I've been in New York and New Jersey the last 5 weekends, John, and they're killing the coach at St. John's. His team is too young. Give him a chance. He can have a great team again. Coach of the Year 2 years ago. What happened? He didn't change anything.
No, he didn't change. He just got some great young players. They expect him to win. Towson State
over Maine, 65-56. Now, we want to remind you, next weekend, we're back with more of ABC's college basketball. Saturday, regional action begins at 2 Eastern and Pacific when Virginia battles North Carolina. Some of you will see Cincinnati take on DePaul, or for our West Coast viewers only, Arizona State invades UCLA. Then Sunday's action tips off at 2 Eastern when Missouri heads to College Park to take on Maryland. It's all next weekend on ABC Sports. A couple of women's basketball games where the higher-ranked teams got knocked off. Iowa loses by 20 to Purdue, just their second loss of the year, 62-42. Tanya Kirk with 16 points. And Wisconsin, ranked number 8, beaten by Michigan State, 76-65. Jamie Wesley had 27 points. Dorette Gray with 14 points and 11 rebounds. Stick around. There's still more to come on the Network MCI halftime report. They shook hands before the game, and then UMass went out and battled Temple hard.
This isn't about why your business has to communicate better or when the time is ripe to put all the new technology to work. We're past that stage. This is about putting laptops on desks and pages in pockets. It's about email and the internet. It's about a person who puts it all together and a company that can give you the hardware and software you need. This isn't about blue sky or sci-fi or by the by. This is about now, about how. Network MCI, that's how.
Let me guess. One side of you craves easy chair comfort, while the other side itches for performance, right? Well, meet Buick Regal with its famous 3800 V6 engine and Grand Touring suspension. Add to that an all-new interior with body-sensitive seats. And finally, there's a car for the two of you. Buick Regal.
You worry, you're overprotective, you're a parent. Isn't it nice to know that there's something almost effortless you can do to protect your family even more? Just ask your State Farm agent for a free family insurance checkup. It's a smart way for you to decide if your family's insurance coverage is up to date, so they'll be better protected. Maybe you'll worry a little less.
Something I want you to think about. Discus athletic were made for whatever you like to do, like biking, football, and for you Europeans, football. 1 gram for every sport. You can't say that about these outfits. My, the unitard, that is special. Unnecessary spending. 20 yards. So, no matter what your game, choose Discus athletic. One thing to wear. But pick your colors carefully.
For years, I never even thought about it. Guess I just didn't want to face things. Yeah, I've been there. But now, my parents, they need real help. It's gonna be tight. We'll just have to manage somehow.
I got this guy at Payne Weber. He put me in a mutual fund for my parents. The same time he set up my kid's college fund.
That long ago? How do you know about your parents back then?
He asked.
You are invited to attend the intergalactic wedding of Lois Lane and Clark Kent.
I love you.
If there's only one Lois and Clark you see this year, let this be the one.
I'm marrying the man I love.
Join guest Tony Curtis for a very special Lois and Clark. Then, she saw his face.
Who did this?
She knows his touch.
He needs to kill me because I've seen him.
So getting him out of her life could be her only option.
He will come back. We'll both be ready for him.
Joanna Kern stars and No One Could Protect Her after Lois and Clark, Sunday.
Welcome back to the Network MCI Halftime Report. I'm John Saunders along with the head coach at Purdue, Gene Cady, and we'll hear more from Gene in a moment. But first, time for some scores and highlights, beginning with the #1 team in the nation, UMass, and they looked every bit that way today because of this guy, Carmelo Travieso, knocking down 3-pointers. There's another one. The Rainbows were flying. Travieso would finish with 8 3-pointers. And that tied a UMass record, 84-55 was the final. Marcus Camby, 10 points, 7 rebounds, and 4 blocks. And John Calipari was not surprised his team played as intensely as they did.
Well, you know, it was one of those games. This is one of those games you know my team is going to be ready. It's Temple. I love what we did offensively versus the matchup because we passed it to each other and we created shots for each other. Carmelo shot his brains out, but The other guys passed the ball and got people free. It was a fun game to coach.
Well, I'll tell you did a great job, as you said, moving the basketball. I love your two forwards. I don't think they get enough credit, Dingle and Bright.
And you know what? They play off of one another. The best finisher in the country is Dante Bright. I don't care what anybody says. He'll finish plays, he'll score. Dana Dingle is the best stopper I've seen. I mean, he'll guard a big guy, he'll guard a guard. They've had great seasons.
UMass remains unbeaten. Let's move to the ACC now. Duke against Wake Forest. Wake Forest trying to stay on top, and Tim Duncan to Tony Rutland underneath the Sean Allen, and he gets the easy hoop as Wake had a 13-point lead. Duke came back. The Wake Forest wins 79-65 is the final. In the middle, it was a battle all day long. Greg Newton of Duke, the young Canadian, with 20 points and 9 rebounds. Tim Duncan with 20 points and 10 rebounds. Indiana against Iowa. Ryan Bowen gets this hoop as it stretched Iowa's lead to 18 as they go on to the easy victory, and Bobby Knight is taking a relaxing seat because not much point when you're down by 26. Chris Kingsbury did not play in the game. Game number 2 of his 3-game suspension. Didn't matter. Iowa wins this one easily. NC State by 20 over Arizona State, 89-69. Todd Fuller, 28 points, 13 rebounds, and 4 blocks. And Rhode Island loses to St. Joe's in the Atlantic 10. St. Joe's broke open the game a 19-4 run in the second half. And Gene, getting back to UMass again, they say they don't want to talk about being undefeated. Is this a squad that can run the table?
Well, I think so, but he probably would have to admit that it'd be better if they got beat once before the NCAA started, but he wouldn't say that, I don't think, publicly, naturally. But they can. If their guards keep playing like they did today, they will, but it's very difficult to do nowadays.
Yeah, everybody is up for you. You are number 1. The target is on your back. Stick around. The Network MCI halftime report is here, and we'll have more when we come back on ABC's College Basketball.
This has been the Network MCI Halftime Report. We'll return for the second half after this message and a word from our ABC stations.
I'm in charge. I can make appointments. I can break appointments. I can call a meeting. I could call Hong Kong. I am in complete control. I just wish I could open these windows.
Now there are 4 ways to get the power of Selsun Blue, the #1 doctor-recommended dandruff shampoo. There's medicated, moisturizing, 2-in-1, balanced, 4 powerful Selsun Blue formulas. Now you've got even more Selsun power.
Face it, no other razor shaves closer or with more comfort than Gillette Sensor XL. No razor is better.
Tuesday.
Don't scare me.
Diane's mother's facing a murder charge and Bobby's on the case.
She's terrified of a trial.
Is their relationship getting in the way?
That's twice that you said that I looked bad this case.
An all-new Blue, Tuesday on ABC. Viewer discretion advised.
Brad and Vicky Margus had it all. Love, success, family. Then 2 of their children were diagnosed with a rare disease. What they did will amaze you. The Race for a Miracle. Barbara Walters, Turning Point. Monday at 9, 8 Central.
Finally, it's time to breathe life into my creation. Idiot! You brought me the lungs of a smoker!
Tobacco, tumor-causing, teeth-staining, smelly puking habit.
The AAA Corporation is locally owned and operated right here in Arizona. And what does that mean? It means service after the sale, not a recorded message from a main headquarters out of state.
We're not here right now, but leave your number and we'll call you back.
For over 25 years, we've worked here and lived here, and we want to make sure our customers are completely satisfied.
I'm Jake Hannon.
And I'm Ed Hannon.
AAA, your hometown dealer.
You know, people are always asking me, what's it like to run Jack in the Box? I tell them, it's great. I have a corner office, terrific employees, a nice little jet, and products I believe in, like the Jumbo Jack. It's my classic jumbo burger with fresh lettuce and tomato. and it's still just 99 cents. But you know what I like best about running a company? No matter how crazy my ideas are, I still get to do them.
Praise your children to improve their self-esteem.
Booth Naismith celebrates the 28th year of the Naismith Awards. This week's nominee is Kerry Kittles of Villanova. The senior guard is a preseason All-America candidate. Kittles is the first returning Big East Conference Player of the Year since Patrick Ewing. He led the conference in scoring and three-point shooting. Kittles is an outstanding defensive player. He was second in steals in the conference. Kerry Kittles is the Booth Naismith nominee of the week.
We're back at the corner of 19th and McDowell in Phoenix, Arizona. Game 2 of the 7-up shootout. Arizona leading Cincinnati 41-38. I'm Mark Jones along with Terry Gannon, and Damon Flint in the first half lit it up for the Bearcats.
3 3-pointers in a row. He was the outside presence, and you had the feeling, as he said to you, that Arizona just couldn't guard him, but not much inside presence for the Bearcats in the first half. On the other side, watch Reggie Geary. This is the point guard, folks. Yep, with the follow slam, and he's had 3 fouls. He picked up his 3rd foul about 2 minutes left in the first half.
Cincinnati trailing by 3 with possession.
And obviously, Danny Fortson back in the game. Sat a lot in the first half with 2 fouls.
Legree muscling inside, missing. Fortson with a putback. He misses. Gets the second one to fall. That is Danny Fortson's signature work.
And
a technical foul on Huggins.
Well, it's no shock. I mean, Bob Huggins has been upset about the lack of fouls being called in the first half. And he has been on the officials constantly. And as soon as Danny Fortson put that ball in the basket, Bob Huggins was up complaining to the officials. And he's been known to get 1 or 2 in his career.
He got his money's worth. He never gets cheated.
Still getting it.
Huggins in his 7th year at Cincinnati. A man driven to succeed.
He drives his players hard. I mean, everyone knows that in basketball. You watch a practice, he's on them constantly. But he knows and they know that he cares about them. I mean, you can tell that. And as soon as practice is over, I mean, he's got his arm around them, he's talking to them. It's a funny relationship, and it works, and it's one based on caring.
Yeah, unless you're on the inside, you don't really see how his former players all come back and have a lot of loyalty towards him and the program. Davis back in the ball game with foul trouble in the first half. Here's Miles Simon. Arizona leading by 3. Knocked away. 3 on the shot clock. Geary for 3 downtown. Off the mark and tipped up. Williams hustling for possession.
Well, Arizona's really held its own on the backcourt, which is kind of a surprise. I mean, Cincinnati is so good inside, and they have the advantage size-wise.
There's Geary trying to create. Williams on the baseline, fouled by Art Long. Not many teams have shot a high percentage against Cincinnati this year. But when we look at these halftime statistics, Terry, 52% for the Wildcats in the first half.
You go down to the rebound. Cincinnati winning the glass work, but Arizona's been able to get second shots and keep it alive at their end of the basketball floor, and that's one of the reasons they're in the game right now. They've also taken care of the basketball.
Here's Corey Williams at the line for Arizona. Williams out of Batavia, Illinois, a senior. A 43% free throw shooter. And he misses both. That won't help the numbers either. Here's Legree out top for the Bearcats.
See, Cincinnati can establish some kind of inside game. Flint was shooting well in the first half, but Fortson's got to be a force.
Fortson had it knocked away. Here's Keith Gregor. Fouled and muscles it in. Keith Gregor willed that one into the basket. The senior from Cincinnati, Ohio. He holds the school record for consecutive games played at Cincinnati.
117 straight games being played, and most of them characterized by plays like that. Like just effort.
Gregor with his first 3 points of the ball game. We're knotted at 43, and here's the Cincinnati press. Simon. McClain for 3. Gregor controls the rebound to Flint.
You break the pressure, you have to knock down the open shot.
Inside to Fortson. Flint for 3. Straight butter. Damon Flint with 14 in the ball game. That was his 4th three-pointer. Simon kicks it out to Gary. Davis wheeling inside on the turnaround. Simon crashing the boards, out of bounds. Cincinnati ball.
Well, an important time of the game for Lute Olson to keep this thing close. I mean, he led at halftime. The first 3 minutes of the second half is when you establish what the second half is going to be like, and Cincinnati has taken care of that so far. The defense, offensively, much more in tune with where they want to go with the basketball, and that's where they want to go with it.
You know what? Bob Huggins just threw his arms up in disgust at that call. And you might have a point on that one, Terry, because Danny Fortson merely pivoted, and Joe McClain fell to the ground. Hence the offensive foul call against Fortson, and he will come out of the ballgame with his 3rd personal foul.
Way too early in the second half for Danny Fortson to be on the floor with 3 fouls. And the thing that Huggins was so upset about is he got knocked around up until that point.
Davis walked with it. And those are the types of errors and miscues that press can force you into. Three out top. Gary with quick hands. Oh. Nice. To Simon. Oh, almost made the circus shot. Fouled by Bobby Branham.
And Reggie Gary created the whole thing. The quick hands. He is so quick and anticipates so well on the defensive end. And he just took it right out of Legree's hand, and then the nice dish after the penetration. That's not going to go in.
When Reggie Geary's around, keep your wallet in your front pocket.
Well, he's got some hands. There's no question.
Lyle Simon makes the first of 2. Arizona's only points this half are by the man at the foul line right now.
They missed 3 free throws, too.
Arizona trailing by 2. Legree out top. Along with Flint, Monroe, Brandon, and Gregor in the ballgame. Danny Fortson recently going to the bench with his 3rd personal foul. This is game 2 of the 7-up shootout.
Damon Flint really the one scorer on the floor for Cincinnati right now.
Looking for the high rub from Gregor. He's got the screen. They double team it. Brandon outside. 6 on the shot clock. Brandon forces it up. Monroe with the putback. The athletic Roderick Monroe with the rebound basket, and it's a 4-point Bearcat lead. Gary to McClain, and he hits the deuce.
And that's the shot he just missed moments ago, and it was created again by Reggie Gary, the penetration against the trap. And Joe McClain's got to hit that shot for them to stay in there. Defensively, Arizona's doing a nice job. And the last time down, they forced a bad shot by Cincinnati, but the stick back by Monroe, and look at Flint.
Flint, you talk about a circus move. He pivoted 3 times to get position. Flint now with 16 in the ballgame.
It's a nice catch to begin with. I'm not sure how he stayed in bounds.
Gary breaking the pressure. They swing it around. McClain flashing nicely. Blocked but fouled underneath.
Well, don't tell me that the only thing he can do is stand there and shoot a jump shot. And he's been so active today, huh?
Yeah, Joe McClain really expanding his game. And now going to the foul line. The chance to cut the Cincinnati lead down to 2 with 15:27 to play in the second half. Darnell Burton checking into the game for Cincinnati. Monroe will take a seat. And Dickerson checking in for the Wildcats.
Bob Huggins has yet to take a seat on the sidelines today.
Take a look at Huggins' tie on the sidelines when we get a chance. Interesting story with those ties is that after each game at home, he auctions them off, and the money goes to arthritis. About $300 a pop for those ties, too. Do it up, Coach. We'll be right back.
No, there isn't a fountain of youth. But we do know that proper nutrition is one of the keys to staying healthy and active. The good news is, now there's Boost. It's a whole new kind of milkshake with 25 important vitamins and minerals, including antioxidants and beta-carotene. And sometimes we're just too busy to eat right, but you can help keep your body at its best with Boost.
When was the last time you played in the rain? Let your hair go wild. Flexed your muscles to the world. Stayed up past your bedtime. When was the last time you really had fun in a car? Riviera by Buick. Go ahead. Express yourself.
Mom, tell the truth. Is everything all right?
Is this where we reverse roles?
Be serious. I mean, you won't have to sell the house or anything, will you?
Well, why would I do that?
Mom.
Look, when you were away at school, Dad met with Greg Hall down at Payne Weber.
No, that was 10 years ago.
They set up this annuity just in case anything happened.
So you have enough?
More than enough every month.
How'd the Payne Weber guy know back then what Daddy wanted for you?
You asked.
Some of us know we can keep going when bad things happen. Because we've got someone who'll help make things right again. Being in good hands is the only place to be.
The 7-Up Shootout on ABC. Brought to you by Boost. Help keep your body at its best with new Boost Nutritional Energy Drink. Network MCI. How to get modern communications technology working for your business. U.S. Navy. You in the Navy, full speed ahead. And Volkswagen. On the road of life, there are passengers and there are drivers. Drivers wanted.
We're inside Veterans Memorial Coliseum on a warm, sunny day in Phoenix, Arizona. Mark Jones, Terry Gannon, and Lewis Johnson in the house. Arizona trails Cincinnati 50-48. Here's Reggie Geary. Dangerous pass gets through to Davis. Here's Dickerson knifing to the basket. And it's knocked out of bounds. Arizona will retain possession.
I'd line up on the floor for Cincinnati right now in the sense that you don't have Danny Fordson out there. You don't have Art Long out there. Brannon inside. And Geary from the corner. So it's a different lineup that Arizona is attacking here.
Game tied at 50 apiece. Reggie Geary worked all summer long on his jumper, and it paid off as he drained that one. LeGree out top. Brannon. Flint with the yo-yo spin. Rebound, Ben Davis. Here's Geary.
Good help defensively by Gregor.
Davis. A foul on Bobby Brannon. Saturday at 1 Eastern and Pacific on ABC Sports, we'll travel to Spain as Colombian Coffee presents the World Alpine Skiing Championships. And at 4 Eastern and Pacific, We're off to Oahu, which means the gathering place in Hawaiian, as Paul Azinger and a host of the tour's best players tee off the United Airlines Hawaiian Open. That's all next Saturday right here on ABC Sports.
Promo's always a learning experience. You learn something every week.
The gathering place. Yes. Simon under duress. Up to Geary.
But a Cincinnati defense has really picked it up too. In the second half, they have helped each other much more than they did in the first half. You haven't seen anybody drive to the basket from Arizona.
It's the H&R Block defense. Help and recover and block it. Simon for three. McClain with the rebound. Out of bounds. Arizona ball.
McClain's been all over the place today. Loose balls underneath the basket. And that's just a great sequence of defense by Cincinnati. They forced the tough three-pointer, and McClain gets it back for the Wildcats.
Terry out top. Arizona 1 of 9 from behind the three-point line in the game. And another three ball is off the mark. Davis can't control it. And here's Gregor over to Legree. Keith Legree, the senior, running the show. The pro baseball prospect in the Minnesota Twins organization. Damon Flint is down low on the opposite box. He's looking for a screen.
Wanting someone to come screen him, yeah.
Cincinnati a little stagnant on offense. Monroe with the left hand off the mark. Gregor with the hustle. Burton, for three, got it.
Mark, almost everything that's taken place here in the second half has come off of just sheer hustle and beating someone to the basketball underneath. Gregor that time, McClain last time down for Arizona.
Cincinnati, Terry, I think just a half step quicker here in the second half.
Now they're quicker than a lot of teams.
McClain on the drive and an offensive foul. Monroe taking one for the team.
And this time it's Lute up off the bench and shaking his head.
Danny Fortson
is still on the bench with the 3 fouls. We'll see when Bob Huggins decides to bring him in. Right now with a 3-point lead, and Art Long is back in the middle for the Bearcats.
A bevy of substitutions. Gregor out of the ball game. Levitt comes in for him on the Cincinnati side of the ledger. Jason Terry in for Arizona. Cincinnati with a 3-point lead and the ball. Art Long in the ball game. Burton in. Legree and Flint for Cincinnati. Burton flashes high. Legree for three. A little bit strong. Who wants to hustle more? Arizona ends up, and now Cincinnati takes it away.
That's a heartbreaker. After you scramble to get the ball and you throw it away. And the time to catch your breath. Keith Legree brings it back out to set up the offense.
Burton flashes high. On the ISO for Burton. To the basket, missing the layup. Williams with the rebound. They ran an isolation play for Burton, but he missed the easy one. Simon. How are they going to call it? And does the basket count? They're waving off the hoop.
No. Lute wanted it to go, obviously. He's motioning, but may have gotten a break with the call, in fact. I thought Legree may have been there. We'll take a look. The drive to the basket by Simon. I don't know. That's a hard one to make a judgment on.
They were calling for the goaltending on Art Long, too.
Right. The contact, though, before that. In fact, that may be a better argument than the actual foul. That's a good point. That ball was up near the cylinder.
Simon at the line. From Fullerton, California. Simon misses the second one.
They've struggled from the line in the second half.
And this is a pretty good foul shooting team, as you mentioned earlier. Cincinnati in its motion now. Levitt way behind the three-point line and way off the mark. Long has a block from behind, but a foul on the play.
Number 31, Jason Terry.
Art Long has had a very, well, some might say inconsistent season. He's played very, very well at times, and other times really hasn't shown up.
Well, expectations are something that, when they're placed upon you, and everybody talked about Art Long being a Corey Blunt who's in the NBA, and he's not that type of player. I mean, Art Long will change some shots for you, will block some shots, will be a defensive presence, give you a little bit offensively inside, but you have to know what a player is like. And he is certainly, when he stays out of foul trouble, when he's in the game, he's a presence in their trapping defense.
Art Long hits 2, and Bob Huggins' team from Conference USA is up on the Pac-10 by 4. We'll be right back.
7-Up attitude.
It's a given. It's the way it makes you feel. It's the lift that you get. It's a rhythm in your step, 'cause it's cool and it's wonderful and it's lemon and lime. 7-Up. It's an up thing. 7-Up. Does it every time. 7-Up. Yeah, it's an up thing. It's clear and it's wonderful and it's totally fine. 7-Up. Hey, it's an up thing.
It's an up thing.
When they were small, we had a little sports car.
But then they got bigger, so we had to get a 4-door.
So we leased a new Volkswagen Jetta. 0 down, $219 a month. Nice, huh? German-engineered front-wheel drive Jetta comes with rack and pinion steering, daytime running lights, dual airbags. It's a great driving car.
It's got a big back seat.
And a huge trunk.
Wine liners come from Germany.
Maybe that's why they like driving so much.
On the road of life, there are passengers and there are drivers.
This is about advanced communication technology, about what's happening today, how things like the virtual office and call centers can work for your business. But it's not about bits, bytes, spells, or whistles. This is about people who know how to listen and where to look, people who can help you put all the pieces together and even get you the hardware and software you need. This is about how simple things can be, about knowing who, about knowing how. Network MCI, that's how.
Let's do in the cheese world.
Feta cheese is big, Dave.
Anything else?
Try the pepper jack.
Wow, this would spice up a bacon cheeseburger. Give me 1,000 pounds, sliced.
Okay, and spice it up he did. It's Wendy's new Pepper Jack Bacon Cheeseburger. A quarter pound of fresh beef, spicy Pepper Jack cheese, 3 strips of bacon, and the perfect sauce.
Great cheeseburger, Dave.
Sure beats feta.
Sure beats feta.
I just said that.
Come try Wendy's new Pepper Jack Bacon Cheeseburger today.
Are you married?
The victim's sister's playing with the defense.
I'm terrified Richard will find me.
Or is she pitting one side against the other?
Don't come between us.
Murder 1 Monday. Viewer discretion advised.
Game 2 of the 7-Up shootout as Cincinnati leads Arizona 55-51. And Terry Gannon, if you're Bob Huggins, when do you bring that guy back?
Well, they've done okay on the boards in the second half. I mean, 11-5, they're out rebounding Arizona. Art Long has done a pretty good job, but I would think with 3 fouls, the next couple of minutes, you're going to see Danny Fortson back in the game.
There's Jason Terry working against the pressure.
Remember, he picked that 3rd foul up with less than 3 minutes gone in the second half.
Dickerson hanging. Tipped up twice. Out of bounds. It'll be Arizona ball. You know, Terry, interesting that Jack Ramsey, an NBA coach, former NBA coach and Hall of Famer, has a theory that coaches panic too often in taking guys out of the ball game when they have 3 or sometimes even 4 fouls.
You have to know your player, too, though, Mark. You know, what he does on the floor. You got to know if he can play under control, if he can stay away from committing that extra foul. I'm not sure Danny Fortson really can because of the nature of his position and his game.
Corey Williams hits the jump shot, cutting the lead down to 2 for the Bearcats. Williams has 10. And this crowd comes alive.
Thought that one was going up.
Williams on the wing. 10 on the shot clock. Flint working on Simon. 3 on the wing. Terry with the rebound. Davis posting up against Long. And it's a tie game.
What a shot by Ben Davis. I'm not sure how he even saw the rim over Art Long.
I'm not so sure this is a neutral court game. Arizona fans rising en masse. The game knotted at 55. Legree out top.
Solid defense by the Wildcats the last 2 times down.
Flint off the curl. Burton. Arizona can take the lead on this possession.
Solid defense. Not a bad idea to get Fortson back in now. They struggled the last 2 times down, but now Simon throws it away.
And here's Darnell Burton. It's a 3-on-2. Legree with the finish. Defense to offense. That's the way they play the game. They work on those transition drills diligently in practice. Art Long with a great hustle play. And the pass to Legree. But he can't finish, and a foul against Jason Terry.
I think Lute is upset because the whistle came late. I think Terry may have gotten a piece of Legree, but once the ball didn't go in, then the whistle blew. Take a look and see Legree after the strip by Long. Tough to tell from that angle.
Legree wanted it, and he got it. Meanwhile, Fortson with a brand new tattoo that says Danny Boy back into the ball game.
Does it help him stay out of foul trouble?
No. Art Long coming out of the ball game. Monroe coming back in. Long made 2 hustle plays on those last 2 sequences.
2 steals in a row to start the fast break, and just when this crowd was on its feet, sensing a run by Arizona.
The 3 gives Cincinnati a 3-point lead. 9 minutes to play in the second half. And a foul against Keith Gregor. Keith Gregor worked all summer long at a health club in Kentucky and used his time to bulk up.
No question on the foul. Watch the right arm, and smart play by Reggie Geary, creating some of that contact, and Bob Huggins is far from his seat now.
Geary, a 69% free throw shooter.
So that tie brings in about 300, huh?
Yeah.
Okay.
That's what they say. They auction those ties off after their home games at Cincinnati. And some of them have gone for as high as $300 a pop. The money all going to charity.
Bob Huggins very active in the Arthritis Foundation throughout the summer, the off season, and obviously during the season with those ties.
What's your tie, Terry?
I don't even want to mention.
1-point lead for the Bearcats against some full court pressure. Gregor inside to Fortson, and Fortson finishes. Heads up passing that time by Cincinnati.
That's the way you beat pressure.
Fortson with 9 in the ball game. Davis flashing to the middle of the floor to break that press. Cincinnati in its man defense. Geary for 3. He's online, but a little strong. Gregor with the ball over to Legree. Stripped away by Jason Terry. And both players end up in the front row.
Well, this time no contact. Jason Terry gets the strip as Keith Legree gets it up ahead, makes a nice move to come back inside with the quick hands of Terry. Nice play.
Darnell Burton hits the baseline jumper. And now the Bearcats have a 5-point lead. Little apprehension showing on the face of Lute Olson.
Dangerous time for Lute Olson, going after win number 500 today.
Dickerson for 3 on it. Gregor with the rebound. And Cincinnati really pushing it up. Out of bounds, Cincinnati ball. That pass just a little bit high, and one of our camera crew guys take one for the team. Hope to be right back. Brush it off.
I've got gigabytes, I've got megabytes. I'm voicemailed, I'm emailed, I surf the net, I'm on the web. I am Cyberman. So how come I feel so out of touch?
Are you free? Are you really
are passengers, and there are drivers.
Certainly isn't the same old place.
No kidding.
I'm thinking of early retirement.
I'm not thinking about it. I'm doing it. 2 more years.
You can swing?
Yeah, my Payne Weber guy helped me out with it. Remember the stock money we got after the 84 buyout? He took it and restructured my entire portfolio.
How did he know you wanted out back then?
He asked.
This is ABC.
International Golf Discount. When you need more, we've got it.
Brakes, $49 and no appointment necessary. Only at Brake Masters.
Payne Weber believes that the best investment is an investment in education. They salute Keith Greger as the Payne Weber Scholar Athlete of the Game and congratulate him on his own investment in the future. Payne Weber recognizes that commitment to education with a $1,000 donation to the University of Cincinnati for ongoing research. Greger today with 3 points to go along with 5 boards. But he does a lot of those things, Terry, that don't show up on the stat sheet.
Yeah, absolutely. That's why he's in the lineup every night.
Roderick Monroe fouled off the heads-up pass by Keith Legree on the inbound play. Somebody for Arizona hit the snooze bar and fell asleep.
Well, when you match up in an out-of-bounds underneath the basket, you better make sure that you have the entire area underneath the basket clear. I mean, make sure no one can sneak in there. If you're going to give up something, give it up on the perimeter.
Monroe at the line. 6'4" junior out of Hearne, Texas. Has 9 points today. And with performances like today, his playing time will keep increasing. Cincinnati up by 7 points with 7:46 to play in the second half. Monroe, one of those Generation X student athletes that likes to wear those shorts low. Gave us that plumber look at practice yesterday.
Thankfully, not during the game. That's not a good look, I don't think.
No, I'm not down with the plumber look. I mean, I'm not sure many plumbers have the kind of basketball game that he does, but...
Well, I'm not sure it's intentional on the part of the plumbers either.
Arizona trying to drain a few shots. Right now, Simon gets the second one to fall.
Arizona just hanging around. You know, the further this goes down the stretch, if it's close, the pressure certainly on Cincinnati, not Arizona. And the crowd definitely in favor of the Wildcats.
Greger to Legree, cross court, he loses it. McClain out of bounds, Cincinnati ball. And Lute Olson protesting vehemently.
Well, the official underneath the basket didn't see it. And so the official trailing the play, that's a good call. That ball was never touched.
Yep.
Joe just lost it out of bounds.
Yep. Joe McClain tried to fake it.
Oh, yeah, why not? But that's a good call by the official.
There's Greger on the wing. Simon closely guarding him. Good help that time by Simon. Burton put on the line. It's only 2, not 3.
That's the wrong man to leave. You can't allow Burton or Flint the open jump shots.
Cincinnati leads by 7 with 6:36 to play in the second half. It's been a different second half for the Bearcats. They have not allowed Arizona as many easy buckets off of the press. Monroe climbing high for the rebound. Did he hop or what?
How about the rebound by Monroe? Are you kidding me?
And a foul against Ben Davis. That is his fourth. So Lute Olson has to think about it.
Now, Cincinnati in the second half has played solid defense. Not really extended defense. Not trapping. They're not going after Arizona because in the first half they made them pay against the press. Just man-to-man, and they're helping each other out, forcing the outside jump shot.
Darnell Burton coming off a screen, trips. Monroe flashing into the paint. Inside. Oh, my goodness. Do you believe that?
Where did it come from?
Darnell Burton's been living right, folks. Cincinnati with a 9-point bulge. And they're turning up the defensive pressure meter. Simon can't answer. Dickerson with the putback.
Nice.
Michael Dickerson making things happen for Arizona.
Now some pressure from the Wildcats up the court. Tough to run after Keith Legree, though, a heady basketball player.
Art Long and Corey Williams set to check into the ball game as Bob Huggins calls a 20-second timeout. But Darnell Burton has been saying his prayers and taking his vitamins. Watch this.
You tell me how he got that basketball to go in the hoop. Oh, somehow.
Looked like one of those horse shots he made yesterday.
I called glass, too.
Tonight on ABC, Lori Loughlin guests with Bob Saget on America's Funniest Home Videos. Then the intergalactic wedding of all time, when Lois and Clark head down the aisle. And Joanna Kern stars in the world premiere mystery thriller No One Could Protect Her. All tonight right here on ABC.
Well, if you're Arizona right now, you have to turn up the pressure a little bit defensively. 5:16 left. Only a 7-point game. I mean, still a lot of time left right now. But they show a little pressure up front. It was successful in the first half.
And Cincinnati turns it over.
Yep.
A poor inbound pass by Keith Greger. And that's the one concern that Bob Huggins had coming into this game, that his team would not take care of the ball well enough offensively.
You lock in on a certain guy, your point guard, and you try to get him the ball, but he wasn't open.
Simon way off the mark, rebound Long.
It's not panic time yet. If you're the Wildcats, no need to force shots.
Arizona 1 of 14 from three-point range, and Art Long is going to get called for the foul. An illegal screen set by Long.
And Hart arguing about the call, but Simon certainly feels it right now. Watch this. Ooh. Yep. The leg was certainly there. Long allowed to put the leg out.
Long coming out of the game. Monroe checking back in. Damon Flint still sitting down on the bench with 4:53 to play in the second half.
Well, Monroe has played very well. Burton has played well. He's heated up a little bit in the second half.
And there's a look at Damon Flint, who has 4 3-pointers to his credit today. Simon at the line. Cuts the lead down to 5. It's Burton, Greger, Legree, Fortson, and Monroe for Cincinnati. Simon, Geary, Dickerson, Williams, and Davis for Arizona. Plus an important 6th man right now. Greger. And a timeout called by Cincinnati. We're going to call one too. We'll be right back.
This is an America West plane. It's a Boeing 757. It has 2 Rolls-Royce engines, features first class and coach sections, and flies from coast to coast. As you can see, it's remarkably like the planes on other national airlines. What's remarkably unlike other national airlines are the fares we charge to fly you on one. America West. It seems silly to pay more, For reservations, call your professional travel agent or America West.
No, there isn't a fountain of youth. But we do know that proper nutrition is one of the keys to staying healthy and active. The good news is, now there's Boost. It's a whole new kind of milkshake with 25 important vitamins and minerals, including antioxidants and beta-carotene. Sometimes we're just too busy to eat right, but you can help keep your body at its best with Boost.
I just moved in this city, right? And I need a really flexible car. So I leased a Volkswagen Golf. 0 down, $199 a month. It's great. I sell cappuccino machines. Sometimes I need to move big things. Sometimes I have to move little things, but I always have to move. It's got dual airbags, daytime running lights, and everything fits into it. And it fits into everything. Hey! I have got to cut back on the caffeine.
On the road of life, there are passengers and there are drivers.
This is for my grandfather, who always said I'd make the family proud. For my mom, who never let me out the door without my homework. For my dad, who worked the night shift to make our lives better. For myself. For my future.
North Carolina hosts Virginia. Cincinnati duels DePaul. Or out west, Arizona State meets UCLA. It's Payne Weber College Basketball Saturday on ABC Sports.
The 7-Up Shootout on ABC and Raycom. Brought to you by Payne Weber. We believe our most important investment is an investment in relationships. Buick at your local dealers. Remember Buick, the new symbol for quality in America. Discus Athletic Activewear. Discus Athletic, the way America plays. And 7-Up. It's an up thing.
Well, Cincinnati's inbound play just blew up in their own hands. They couldn't get it in, hence a 5-second violation. Arizona with the ball with 4:26 to play. Trailing by 5. I'm Mark Jones along with Terry Gannon and Lewis Johnson here in game 2 of the 7-Up Shootout.
Arizona only shooting 6 of 19 in the second half.
Gary for 3. He's a leader, and it's prime time.
7 of 20 in the second half and a big, big shot.
Cincy by a deuce. And the bench coming alive for the Wildcats. Inside to Monroe.
He's been huge. In the second half, he has just hung around. He's gotten loose balls. He's gotten rebounds. And now 13 points for Monroe.
Cincinnati back up by 4. Danny Fortson, the team's leading scorer, if you just joined us, has been relatively quiet as the result of foul trouble. Dickerson off the double screen. Baby. Fire the gun.
So much for the poor shooting.
It's a 1-point Cincinnati lead. Arizona is 2-0 against Cincinnati lifetime. Fortson inside. Double team now.
No one really making themselves available.
Gregor open on the 15-foot jumper, drains it. Keith Gregor, an underrated shooter.
Just doesn't look to score a whole lot, but certainly has hit some big baskets in his career.
He has 5 points in the ball game. It's a 3-point Cincinnati lead.
Same play, and they almost pick it off.
Good anticipation that time by Legree. Simon for 3, short. Legree with the rebound, and Joe McClain ran him over like a truck. Couldn't put the brakes on.
No such thing as an inconspicuous foul. Well, Lute Olson's club, you have to give them credit no matter what happens the last 2 minutes and 39 seconds. I mean, they lost Joseph Blair. It's the 8th game that they've played without him. Inside, you know, Cincinnati has such an edge, but they've hung around today. The leadership of Reggie Geary. I mean, this is just a club with a lot of heart.
Keith Legree, a little strong. Both teams in the bonus right now. Geary. Legree just strips him. and doesn't leave him any change. A blocking foul against Miles Simon. Now, Terry, if you're Keith Legree, you're the point guard, you're handling the ball the majority of the time. You have to make foul shots in this part of the game.
And Legree only a 63% free throw shooter. Gary at the other end, Legree coming up behind. Look like he twisted his ankle for a moment. And they're going the other way. Legree, the foul by Simon. Pretty good foul. Doesn't allow him to get to the basket, but and no question that there was a foul. I mean, that's the one thing about fouls today in this game.
No gray area today.
No.
Lute Olson gunning for his 500th career victory today. And it's not going to come easy.
Lute calling the 22nd timeout, so both clubs are out of 20s at this point. Taking the Wildcats to 7 Pac-10 title.
Keith Legree at the foul line missed the front end of the bonus last time. He's 2 of 6 from the charity stripe. He has a total of 6 points today. And the first one is all good. Corey Williams receiving instruction from the coach. Bearcats lead by 4. Davis with a strong pull.
This is where your point guard is so important, making sure that the right people touch the ball in these key situations.
The play is to post up Ben Davis. Dickerson takes the 3. And it's raining threes for Michael Dickerson. What a shot on the move. Dickerson with 21. He's defining his role today. Arizona cuts the lead to just 1. And you can thank Michael Dickerson. We'll be right back.
Mom, tell the truth. Is everything all right?
Is this where we reverse roles?
Be serious. I mean, you want to sell the house or anything, will you?
Well, why would I do that?
Mom.
Look, when you were away at school, Dad met with Greg Hall down at Payne Weber.
No, that was 10 years ago.
They set up this annuity just in case anything happened.
So you have enough?
More than enough every month.
How'd the Payne Weber guy know back then what Daddy wanted for you?
You asked.
As sure as the sun will rise across America, the families that travel will have one common need: to be safe. That's why so many American families put their trust in Buick LeSabre. In fact, they've made LeSabre the best-selling full-size car in America 4 years in a row. Buick LeSabre, the American family car.
This is about how you go to sleep one day, running your business the same way you always have, and wake up the next morning with things like email, voicemail, PCs, pagers, a whole new communications network. It's not a fairy tale, a myth, or a parable. This is about how things can really happen. This is about opening your eyes instead of closing them, and making a call instead of a wish. Network MCI, that's how.
History teaches primordial perspiration shouldn't mess with one's style. Consider this powerful discovery. Right Guard Pure Power Clear Gel. An astoundingly clear gel. Thus, it goes on clear without any flaky white stuff, protecting one powerfully. For when it comes to protection, one shouldn't mess around. Right Guard Clear Gel. Anything less would be uncivilized.
A look at the game summary. Michael Dickerson lighting it up with 15 points.
Cincinnati doing the work on the glass, but Arizona, with smart play here in the second half, they set up inside with Davis, went back outside, set up Dickerson for the 3. And a great 2 minutes coming up here.
We're in Phoenix, Arizona, game 2 of the 7-up shootout. Arizona trails Cincinnati 73-72 with 1:40 to play in the ball game. I'm Mark Jones along with Terry Gannon and Lewis Johnson. And here come the Wildcats on the run. Miles Simon blocked. Davis with the follow. And the Wildcats have a 1-point lead.
Lute Olson going after win number 500. They're doing it with defense. The great help inside as they try to get it to Fortson.
Legree out top, looking for the high rub from Monroe. Fortson muscling inside, and he's fouled by Joe McLean. For those of you that just joined us, Danny Fortson, their leader and high scorer at over 22 points a game, has been in foul trouble all day. Fortson has not produced offensively like he usually does. Picking up the slack, though, has been Roderick Monroe, coming off the bench, contributing in a big way.
And Danny Fortson, the leading scorer in Conference USA for Bob Huggins. He sat on the bench much of the game in foul trouble, as you mentioned. And right now, everything is so difficult for him offensively. They're helping so much inside.
Fortson, Conley, and Cooley sinks the first of two. The distinguished gentleman from Arizona, Lute Olson, watching. The game's tied at 74.
I'm in charge. I can make appointments. I can break appointments. I can call a meeting. I could call Hong Kong. I am in complete control. I just wish I could open it.
Announcing a powerful breakthrough of incredible proportions. Incredibly small proportions. New Actron, a powerful pain reliever with ketoprofen, finally available without a prescription. Actron is so powerful, just 12.5 milligrams are as effective as 200 milligrams of Advil or 650 milligrams of Tylenol for headaches and body pain. New Actron, the pain reliever that's so small because it's so powerful.
Look at the timeout situation. Arizona with 2 full timeouts remaining to Cincinnati's 1. Neither team with any 20-second timeouts remaining, and both teams with 9 team fouls.
Mark, this is one of the fun ones. As a player, you love to play this. I mean, you get out of your conference, you play someone, a high-profile game, and the other guy doesn't know everything you're going to do, like happens so often in conference play. But for Cincinnati at 18-1, perhaps playing for a #1 seed down the stretch here in the last couple of weeks. Fortson at the line right now, and you think about the next possession for Arizona. The last time down, they set up the inside-outside game, and Dickerson buried a 3. Wouldn't be shocked to see them try to do that again.
Fortson with 8 points in the ballgame. And a chance right now, right here, to give the 5th-ranked Bearcats a 1-point lead. Cincinnati leads by a single.
And no pressure from the Bearcats up front.
Here's Fury out top. Legree guarding him. Fortson goes down to the paint. 1 minute remaining. McLean out top. Dickerson. Wide open on the baseline. And McLean shoots an air ball. Gregor. He called the timeout first. A heads-up play by Keith Gregor, the senior. He was falling out of bounds and called timeout. Cincinnati leads by 1 when we come back.
Face it, no other razor shaves closer or with more comfort than Gillette Sensor XL. Soft microfibs that protect your skin and individually spring-mounted twin blades that adjust to your face. No razor feels more comfortable during your shave or leaves your face smoother after. Gillette Sensor XL. And try new Gillette Aftershave, a splash that moisturizes as it refreshes.
Bearcats 0-2 lifetime against Arizona. And a look at that last play.
Keith Gregor, a heads-up play calling the timeout, but doesn't he get it called? Watch this. He's going out of bounds, and right before his foot touched, that's the rule that everybody talks about in the NBA they want to change. So you can't call a timeout when you're falling out of bounds. And watch this. Guess what? That ball is right there on the line.
Close.
There's no way an official could have seen that. I mean,
it's great working in television and being able to second guess, isn't it?
Exactly.
48.6 to play. Cincinnati with a 1-point lead and the ball. The Wildcats showing full court man pressure. Inbounds Darnell Burton. This is where free throw percentages become very, very crucial. And Miles Simon gets whistled on the attempted strip.
Well, Burton is 73% free throw shooter. She's not a great guy to foul, but that's who Bob Huggins wants to handle the basketball, the guys who can shoot the free throws. And actually, Simon and Gary were just trying to make Burton turn his back so they could come up for the strip, and they almost got it done.
In coaching jargon, Terry, they called the old run and jump. That was the 10th foul against Arizona, so Burton will get 2 foul shots. And he coolly sinks the first. He has 12 points in the ball game. That's his first foul shot of the afternoon. Darnell Burton missed the first couple of games because of the suspension. But since coming back this season, he has made a major contribution. Fortson hustles for the rebound and puts it back up. Why? Why would he shoot the basketball? With 33 seconds to play. Cincinnati leads by 2.
Arizona with no timeout here. They have timeouts in their possession.
Dickerson to the basket. Throws up a wild shot and gets it back. Went right to him. 16 in the game. The shot clock is off. And we're tied. 11 seconds to play. Burton with the ball.
No timeouts for Cincinnati.
Legree's going to go with it. Knifing to the hoop. Blocked by Davis. 3.8 to go. In a pile of bodies tattered across the lane, Keith Legree couldn't finish it. Davis helped out on defense, Terry, and made the play of the game for Arizona.
A lot of contact, but you can't blame the officials for not calling this. Let the kids decide the game on the last play, and I think it's a good no call. And Legree was able to get the shot off. It was blocked. Cincinnati keeps it.
Who are they going to go to?
Fortson.
He can't get it off. Simon throws it up at the buzzer. Oh! Do you believe in miracles? What? Is that for real? Did I just see that?
Lute Olson with win number 500, and he's never experienced a more thrilling one or a more unusual one.
Simon says, throw in the three-pointer to win it. Miles Simon with the shot of the year in college basketball. Back at Dirtbags in Tucson, they are going crazy. Simon finishes with 17 on the day. This one from about, 65 feet.
And his first three-point field goal of the game.
Wow. Stay tuned for World News Sunday, except on the West Coast. For Terry Gannon and Lewis Johnson, I'm Mark Jones. Just shake your head and enjoy it. We'll see you.